My friend, I want to share with you today a truth that will change everything about how you see the world around you. For too long, we have been taught to view life as a great battlefield. We are told that success means defeating others, that wealth means taking from someone else, that opportunity is scarce and we must fight tooth and nail for our share. This is the greatest lie ever told to humanity. The universe is not a battlefield where warriors clash over limited spoils. The universe is a factory, a magnificent, inexhaustible factory of creation. And you, my dear friend, are not a soldier scrambling for scraps. You are a creator, standing at the controls of infinite possibility. Let me explain what I mean by this. When we operate from what I call the competitive mind, we see everything through the lens of scarcity. We believe there is only so much money to go around, only so many good jobs, only so many opportunities for happiness and success. This belief creates a mental atmosphere of struggle, worry, and fear. But observe nature for a moment. Does the sun compete with other suns to shine? Does the oak tree fight with other trees to grow tall? Does the river battle its way to the sea? Of course not. Nature operates on the principle of abundance. There is more than enough sunlight, more than enough soil, more than enough room for all things to grow and flourish. The same principle governs human affairs. There is more than enough wealth in this universe for every person to live in abundance. More than enough opportunity. More than enough success to go around. The supply is limitless because the source is limitless. You see, beneath all the forms we see in this world, there is one fundamental substance. Call it what you will, the thinking stuff, the formless substance, the creative energy of life itself. This substance is alive with infinite possibility. It responds to our thoughts, our beliefs, our mental pictures. It takes the shape of whatever we consistently hold in mind. When we think from the competitive mind, we impress this substance with images of limitation, struggle, and lack. And so it creates more limitation, more struggle, more lack for us to experience. We become part of the very battlefield we feared. But when we shift to what I call the creative mind, something miraculous happens. We begin to see possibilities where others see problems. We see expansion where others see restriction. We see collaboration where others see competition. The creative mind knows a profound secret. It knows that the best way to get what you want is not to take it from someone else, but to create value for others. The creative mind understands that when you help others prosper, you prosper. When you contribute to the success of others, success flows back to you multiplied. Think of the great industries of our time. The railroad builders did not succeed by destroying other forms of transportation. They succeeded by creating something new and valuable. They made travel faster, more comfortable, more efficient for everyone. In doing so, they created enormous wealth, not just for themselves, but for countless others whose lives were improved by their innovation. This is creation, not competition. This is the factory principle at work. Now you might say to me, but surely I must compete with others in my line of work. Surely there are limited positions, limited customers, limited opportunities in my field. Let me tell you something that will free your mind forever. There are no limited opportunities. There are only limited ways of thinking about opportunities. Two men can work in the exact same business, in the exact same town, facing the exact same conditions. One will struggle and barely survive. The other will prosper and grow wealthy. The difference is not in their circumstances. The difference is in their thinking. The man who thinks competitively sees every customer as a prize to be won from his rivals. He focuses on what others are doing wrong. He worries about their prices, their methods, their advantages. His energy is scattered in a dozen directions, fighting imaginary battles. The man who thinks creatively sees every customer as an opportunity to provide genuine value. He focuses on how he can serve better, contribute more, solve problems more effectively than anyone has before. His energy is concentrated on creation, on improvement, on advancement. Which man do you think customers are drawn to? Which man do you think the universe conspires to help? The answer is obvious. People are drawn to those who add value to their lives. Opportunities flow toward those who create rather than compete. The universe itself supports the creative mind because creativity is the fundamental law of existence. But how do you make this shift from competitive thinking to creative thinking? How do you transform your mind from a battlefield into a factory? First, you must change your fundamental belief about supply. You must come to understand deeply and completely that there is enough for everyone, not just barely enough, abundantly enough, lavishly enough. The formless substance that fills all space is inexhaustible in its creative power. When you truly grasp this, worry begins to dissolve, fear starts to fade. You stop seeing other people as threats and start seeing them as fellow creators in the great factory of life. Second, you must form a clear picture of what you want to create. Not what you want to take from others, but what you want to bring into being. See yourself not as fighting for a piece of the pie, but as creating a bigger pie. See yourself not as competing for existing opportunities, but as creating new opportunities. Hold this picture steadily in your mind. Believe in it completely. Feel grateful for it as if it were already real. This is how you impress your desires upon the creative substance of the universe. Third, and this is crucial, you must begin to act from abundance rather than scarcity. In every interaction with another person, give them the impression of increase. Let them feel that contact with you somehow adds to their life. Be generous in your praise, your attention, your service. When you deal with others, always give more in value than you receive in payment. This is not charity. This is the fundamental law of prosperity. When you consistently give more than you get, you create a vacuum that the universe must fill with abundance. Fourth, you must refuse to participate in competitive thinking. When others speak of hard times, limited opportunities, unfair advantages, you must keep your mind fixed on abundance. When others complain about their rivals, you must focus on your own creative possibilities. This does not mean you ignore practical realities. It means you interpret those realities through the lens of creative possibility rather than competitive limitation. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you are in business and you learn that a new competitor has opened nearby. The competitive mind immediately goes to worry. They will steal my customers. They will undercut my prices. I must fight them or I will fail. The creative mind responds differently. Here is proof that this business serves a real need in the community. The market is growing. There is room for multiple providers. How can I improve my service? What new value can I create? How can I differentiate myself, not by fighting others, but by advancing my own excellence? Do you see the difference? Same situation, completely different response. One creates stress, struggle, and limitation. The other creates opportunity, growth, and abundance. The universe truly is a factory, and you are both worker and manager in that factory. Every thought you think is setting the machinery in motion. Every belief you hold is programming the output. Every action you take is either adding to the productive capacity or creating inefficiency and waste. When you align yourself with the creative principle, you become part of the universe's own tendency toward expansion and growth. You stop fighting the current and start flowing with it. You discover that success is not something you must wrestle from an unwilling world, but something that flows naturally when you position yourself correctly in the stream of creative energy. My friend, I challenge you to try this new way of thinking for just 30 days. For 30 days, refuse to think competitively. For 30 days, see every person as a potential collaborator rather than a rival. For 30 days, focus on what you can create rather than what you can acquire. Watch what happens to your energy, your opportunities, your results. you will discover that the universe has been waiting all along to demonstrate its abundance to you. You will find that there truly is more than enough for everyone, including you. The battlefield exists only in minds that believe in limitation. The factory exists for all who recognize the infinite creative power that surrounds and fills everything. Which reality will you choose to live in?